do an official roll call.
Okay. Mr. Nat Caraselli.
Here.
Mr. John Farahi.
Here.
Mr. Ed Lawson.
Here.
Mr. Bob Lucy hasn't called in. Mr. Rick Murdoch.
Here.
Mayor Sheevy hasn't called in yet. Mr. Bill Wood.
Here.
Mr. Vic Wowo.
Here.
Mr. John Vineyard.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Let's go, we'll start off with public comment. Charles McCubbins, you're up. Just come up to the podium up here. State your name for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
Very good. My name is Charles McCubbins, and in all due respect, I'm here to support the Wild Creek Golf Facility, remaining a golf facility. It's currently home to 2 high school golf teams, to a Special Olympics or a Special Ed group that come and use that facility. It's the only facility available to them. And to hundreds of us that are seniors and learners in golf, it's the only affordable golf course
I
that...
can't hear him at all.
Can you hear me at all? Can you hear it?
I'm turning up the volume.
Can you hear it? No, I can't hear it now. Now can I?
Keep going, you're good.
Huh? Is that okay? Good morning. Okay. We'll see what happens. Okay, testing, I guess. That's better. All right. To preface that, Wild Creek Golf Facility is the only facility that we have two high schools that use that facility for their teams. And possibly, maybe it's better if I don't say anything at all through that speaker. Can you hear me? Oh, I see.
The side here. Let's
Okay.
try a microphone over there, see if that helps out. And we'll start you over and give you, it's technical difficulties. We're not going to count your 3 minutes against you until then.
Do we need to hear it again?
Yes, John.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me now? Okay, can you hear me now? Yeah, you can. Okay, I'm Charles McCubbins, and I'm here to support the Wild Creek Golf Facility. Currently, that facility is the only home for 2 high school golf teams. It's the only affordable place they have to practice and to play. It's home to Special Olympics and Special Ed. Kids get to come out there and play once a week. It's home to hundreds of animals, and the consideration that the RSCVA has come December 12th, you're going to turn that over to the county, and the county is going to turn it over to the Washoe County School District to build a new high school. I might encourage you to 2 things. There is vacant land that is available. These kids are coming from Sun Valley. Let them build the high school in Sun Valley. There's land out there. They've given no feasibility studies for relocating that high school. Their main concern has been through you and the fact that they want to use the Wild Creek facility. We encourage you to remember what you did with Northgate. Your job is to manage and promote and market. You have two courses. You had Wild Creek and you had Northgate. You didn't succeed in Northgate, and I encourage you to reevaluate your consideration when it comes to Wild Creek. The kids, Nevada ranks in the bottom in this nation for education. It's not due to the buildings, it's not due to the facilities that we give them. There's other reasons that they need to promote. We've given them taxpayer money, and that taxpayer money needs to be pledged and used prudently, not at their discretion that they can just do arbitrarily what they want. They've already spent $200,000 in feasibility studies and environmental impacts. We've not seen any record of it. You currently tell the people that it's $200,000 and $300,000 losses that you're experiencing with Wild Creek. Well, we don't have any record of that. We don't know how many rounds are being played. We don't know how it's being managed and marketed. And that, to me, has been your mainstay in life, is to market and promote. Well, you don't show a good visibility. If you've lost 2 of the projects that you have, and you've lost them due to poor marketing or whatever, that's not going to give a good image of the RSCVA. That I've been in, we're starting to get press coverage. People are starting to listen to us. The traffic impact that this is going to have in this area, 2,500 kids being bused in cars. If you've ever come on McCarran during even the ride over here today, it took me 20 minutes to get through Northtown, El Rancho, the freeway, and Sullivan Lane. I just encourage you have time to reevaluate your position. Hire a professional marketing and golf management company to run and make this profitable for the county. It's for the residents that you guys serve. I'm a resident, and you are too. I don't know how many of you play golf, but you'll know what I'm talking about when I say this is one of the only affordable facilities left that we have, plus the green area. We have a fiduciary responsibility to be prudent in your decisions. And this is a green area. You drive by it, it's beautiful. It needs to stay that way. We don't have that many areas left. And the people that are coming into this area, into Washoe County, are mostly senior citizens. And they're gonna need some recreational facilities, and you have an opportunity to turn this over and make it profitable for the county.
Is your beeper not working?
Well, I want to thank you, because I know it's been 3 minutes,
Thank you.
but I do want to thank you very much for your time and reconsider this position that you have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McCubbins. Next up is Wesley Griffin. Wes, will you use that microphone also? That seems to work for the board members on the phone. Can you hear all right on the phone?
I can.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Now I don't
Mr.
know
Griffin,
how
you're-
hearing.
No, I hear him, all right.
Okay, Mr. Griffin, your time starts.
Alrighty, thank you very much for the time to speak here. I'm sure most of you have seen the report in the Reno Gazette Journal of the site assessment for the new high school in the Wild Creek area. There's a very good article, of course, in the paper, and then you can go to the WCD buildings and get the full report here. And interestingly, I was talking with an ex-engineer from the city of Sparks. He was the city of Sparks engineer for a number of years. We were talking about this, and he said, this report is a sham. You know, I don't hear the word sham a lot anymore. You hear scam, but they're very closely related. But he calls this report a sham. And a couple of things, I agree with him 100%. A couple of things to start with is I would say, who wrote the report? If you were going to read a book and you were going to give it any credibility, you'd want to know something about the author of the book, wouldn't you? I mean, you'd say, well, now, who wrote this book? What are their credentials? Well, the author of the book, the COO of the entity that wrote the book, by his own admission, in my opinion, has told you already that he's lied to you twice. Came out and initially said there was no plan B. It was only when somebody came and said, you know, if you were a private entity and you were going to spend $200 million of a private entity's money without even looking at a plan B, you'd probably be looking for another job. I would say the same thing. You know, we're all citizens of Washoe County, every one of us, even though your mission here is, you know, to promote tourism, and I respect you for that. That helps us tremendously in this area. But still, bottom line, you're still a citizen of this county. And what happens in one corner of the county is gonna affect you too. It is gonna affect us all. This is open space, green space that our county needs, a recreational area. Do we have too many recreational areas in our county? I don't think so. Maybe there's plenty in your area, but it doesn't matter if it's somebody else that gets taken away, but that's not the attitude that we should have. You guys are leaders in our county, in politics, you're leaders in business. What if you had an employee and you heard a customer that needed service and the employee says, "Not my job." Not my job. You'd probably be looking for the first opportunity to find a replacement for that employee.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up is Darlene Hesse.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry to be here again, but I just feel this is such an important loss if this happens. And I just want to tell you what happened to me. I was earlier when the fires were all over the country, and I see all these weeds. I'm right next to the golf course, tons of weeds. I start calling around. Who owns this property? I want the weeds taken care of. And I couldn't get any help. Finally, a nice lady called me from Truckee Meadows Fire Department, and she said, "You know, I'm very sorry. I really don't know yet who owns this property because this property is in the process of being donated to the school Washoe County School." And I never even thought about that until today. And I put all these things together, like Mr. Caroselli is asking Mr. Etchart different questions. Where are your figures? You know, we're in limbo. And thank you for that, Mr. Caroselli. You really opened up my mind and my thoughts of what this lady had told me. And Mr. Farahi, I thank you too, that you would be here with us if a school was going to be built in your area. Well, this is just not a golf course. It's a PGA golf course. It was designed by professionals, and Arnold Palmer, I think he was one of the designers, and he played there and others. And it's a very important property to keep for the public. And I just think it is one of the most important things to listen to the public. And last Sunday on 60 Minutes, they had a program talking about Houston and how all of the floodplains where this flood was taking place, they had been told it was a floodplain. And they said, floodplains are really good for golf courses. Well, this is a golf course, and this is a floodplain. And I'm telling you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble when you start blocking up that, try to block up that ditch and everything. That is going to be incredible waste of money for the people, and the water is going to run across McCarran. And you guys are going to be in the same position as they are right now with Lemon Valley. Now, people need to listen to us. This is a golf course. It was given to the people, not given, but it was always meant to be a golf course. Jerry Gross sat in my front room and told me, and he was one of the ones that was an inspirator for getting this golf course going. This is a very important property. Well, I don't want to lose this property, and if we lose this to a school, to a mega school, and this school, our Washoe County School Department does not spend money wisely, and I think that this money that they're going to get, they could spend that so wisely and be out of debt. They wouldn't be in debt of $30 million. And it's for the kids. It's not for to build on a public highway, and you know, we have such a terrible traffic problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hesse. Mr. Watts, David Watts, you have listed, you want to speak under G. Do you want to speak now, or do you want to wait till the end of the meeting?
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I don't have any other public comment. Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. I got a motion from Mr. Vineyard to approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, say who you are, because we can't hear you.
Murdoch.
Thank you, Mr. Murdoch. We had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next up is approval of the minutes for the August 24th, 2017 Board of Directors meeting. I think there is one correction. Mr. Vineyard was here and absent.
That is correct.
So which one were you?
I was here.
Okay, so we need to make an adjustment to the minutes that Mr. Vineyard was present. Do I have?
And on top of that, this is Vic Wolo. I think the minutes were from July. The minutes are almost identical to July's minutes, so I don't know if any of the content of the minutes is correct. Vic Wolo for the record.
Vic, you got to get closer to your microphone.
Yes, can you hear me now? Is this better?
It's a little better. Enunciate.
Okay, so I was looking at the minutes, and the July minutes are actually incorrect, or the August minutes are incorrect. They are the July minutes that are currently in our package. So I think we need to revise the entire meeting minutes from August.
Did you catch that, Tony?
Oh, they say July 27th at the top.
Okay.
It needs to reflect August.
All right.
For it.
Any other corrections to the minutes? Okay, see none. Can I have a motion? I had a motion from Mr. Vineyard. Do I have a second?
I'll second with the corrections and the proper minutes. Vic Wolo for the record.
Thank you. That was motion, or second by whom? Was that Vic?
Wolo.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Presentation, discussion, and possible action. Discussion of possible approval of a contract for employee benefits broker services for the RSCVA. Who's going to take this?
I will, Sherry Neal.
Hi, Sherry Neal. Thank you, Ms. Neal.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Sherry Neal, Director of Human Resources. Thank you for your time this morning. You may recall in May of this year, the RSCVA notified the board that we would be conducting a due diligence RFP on employee benefits. Upon preparation for the RFP, we determined the benefit broker services had not, to the best of our knowledge, been sent to bid in over a decade. The business decision was made to include broker services in the RFP. In August, we received 4 broker responses to the RFP. RSCVA staff have reviewed those 4 proposals, and our recommendation is that the benefit broker contract be awarded to LP Insurance Services, a locally owned and operated broker. This broker was the most cost-effective and would provide enhanced services, which we are seeking to best position the RSCVA as an employer going forward. So today we are asking the board to approve the recommendation to award benefit broker service contract to LP Insurance Service effective 10/1/2017. If approved, LP Insurance Services will then be the broker of record and begin formal negotiations for our 2018 benefit plan. And in November, we will then return and make a recommendation for a benefit plan for the employees of the RSCVA for 2018.
Okay. Comments or questions from the board? All right, hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve. We got a motion from Mr. Vineyard. Do I have a second? Somebody on the phone.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Farahi. I know that voice.
Thank you.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Do I have any comments from the board members regarding future items for future board meetings? All right, hearing none, we'll go to our last.
We are all set for the 3rd, is that right?
November 3rd is our next meeting. That's correct.
Thank you.
3rd. Okay, any other comments from the board? Okay. Comments from the public. Mr. David Watts, you're up. Will you use that same microphone everyone else used, please?
Thank you. My name is David Watts. My wife and I make our home in Incline Village, and I'll get right to the point. We're asking that you reconsider your 15-day period on the RSCVA lodging tax. I bring this up because the first period this year coincided with the federal tax holiday and Easter. My wife was in the hospital. 15 days come and go very quickly. We lose half our working days to the weekend and to the holiday. And I think if you move that from 15 to 30 days, you'll get much more compliance, and much more compliance means much more revenue. We understand the changing demographics of the area. When we're out of our home, we rent it out. And we have a lot of people coming here from not only around the country, but around the world. We champion this place. We think it's a great place to come and recreate. We're here a lot ourselves. We've got a beautiful thing going here. And I think that if there's a little more consideration for how difficult it is to turn this thing around 15 days when you may not be at home or you might have a wife in the hospital, I think you'll find much more compliance. And that's really it in a nutshell. That's all I have to say. We respect your consideration toward that end.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. Okay, do we have any other public comment? Seeing none, that's it. We move for adjournment. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Aye.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Mr. Chairman, God bless you.
Amen,
Thanks,
John.
everybody. Bye. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.